Although, you know, the very big strength of Yotul is just that it is an extremely consistent deck. And this is really what you want to be playing if you want to just, you know, farm and climb up the ladder against a lot of ransom. So Phreak here playing Yotul, so that's the third Yotul matchup that we do today. And we're going first, so that's really great. So have fun. Alright, so here we go. Wow, I don't remember keeping that, but that is okay. Don't remember. Okay, so yeah, I kinda did a mistake there, but that's okay. This is a perfectly keepable end. Blood Infusion Device on turn 1, Ebony Pound on turn 2. We've got some interaction with his board, some life gain, decent amount of life gain if we hit another blood threshold, and we've got the foundation of a win here. So we'll see what happens next, but we do have what we need. A Crash Ridge Rubble here means we're going to play the Ebony Pound and start doing 1 damage. If we get an Auric, that means we get our second blood threshold, which is pretty nice for the Infusion Device activation, but the life gain here is mostly irrelevant since both Infusion Device cancels themselves. So we won't be, if we can help it, we won't be the first to, if we're the first to activate our device, that means we get a kill. But if we don't get a kill, we're not activating our device just yet. Thanks Sticky for joining, always appreciated. And okay. Maybe, yeah, I know that it doesn't update too much, so another device here. That's interesting. So we're playing the Ruby Shard. Playing the device, and I feel that with the 2 devices and the Pound here, we might just go Champion Power activation, Pound, Bolt to the face. That would be 6 damage. And with these devices here, we've got a lot of things going. So the other thing would be next turn to keep the Vampire Kiss open for a Brutalizer tree, but it doesn't have a recurrent source of damage on the board just yet. So if it does, then we'll start keeping the Kiss open. If it doesn't, next turn, since we have 2 devices, we'll just Champion Power, Ebony Pound plus 1 of the Infusion Devices, and put him in a place where he might just need to use his, or we might just kill him on the next turn after that. So force him. So he does have a Brutalizer on an empty board, so that's only 3 damage here. That is perfect. So next turn we're definitely using Vampire Kiss here and playing one of the Rubble. We're sitting on 5 shards. We charges. We have a Rubble in play for an additional charge here. Just going the Vampire Kiss to gain 1 more health that might be relevant down the road. And activating the Ebony Pound for 2 additional damage here. Bringing him down to 10. He doesn't have the other blood threshold to activate his device, so we're definitely in a tight spot here. Next turn might just be play the Rubble, activate Champion Power, play the Rubble, use the Ebony Pound, use the Blood Infusion Device for 6 to maybe 10 damage. So he has to play his device now. So burn plus device. No device. Alright. We got a Pound. That is great. That is actually super great. So playing the Ebony Pound here. Playing the Rubble. Activating Champion Power. And next turn he'll be dead. So this is 2. This is 2. And this is 4. Alright, and pass the turn. So I feel that last turn, opponent keeping 3 open, I guess he was concerned with a brutalizer play, but it was solo and we had so much damage on the board that I feel he needed to use a device last turn. Him using in this turn is okay, but he still dies on our next turn anyway, so... Yeah, this is a win. Alright, we'll be on the draw next. So against a similar Yotul deck, we're removing the Duelist, bringing in the Cleaves and the Priestess and the Kiss. So what we want is as much life gain as possible. We want as much card advantage as possible, and I really like the Outlaw here. I might just remove one Priestess for it. This is a nice ace in the sleeve for us in the matchup. Burning Tendrils are okay as well, although they do need a target. One less bolt for a Burning Tendrils to answer Brutalizer. I think that's okay. But we're running Cleaves here, so do we remove a bolt for a Burning Tendrils on the draw? I don't think we do on the draw, but if it goes to game 3, we might just trade one bolt for a Burning Tendrils. But we'll see. I like this configuration here. With the 3 Priestess and the Outlaw. And I don't often, with the Outlaw in the reserves, I don't often bring the 4th Priestess, so maybe I want to remove the Priestess and maybe even get another Outlaw from the reserves. I like that. We're fighting enough Yotul right now that it might be worthwhile for the next one. Well, that's a good consideration. Might remove one Priestess for an Outlaw from the reserves for the next few matches. We've got a Pound, a Cleave, a Burning Tendrils, and a Blood Infusion Device. That's a good base for a win here. We're definitely keeping that. So first turn, Blood Resource with a Blood Infusion Device. Second turn we go with an Ebony Pound, and often the Yotul matchup, mirror matchup, the first one who gets an Ebony Pound on the board usually is favored. And the fact that we have a device and we will be able to get all the blood thresholds that we need means that we'll be in a fantastic position there. On the third turn we have the Cleave open as well, and we can just keep our end open with the Burning Tendrils to answer a Brutalizer. Now a Brutalizer on the next turn would be very bad for us. But there's no way for us to answer that on 2 resources, so we'll just continue with the plan. Playing a Bunny Pounce here and passing the turn. Him being on 2 blood means that he really most likely doesn't have a Ruby Threshold. And maybe he draws one now, but that's a good sign. Yeah, would be in a fantastic position next turn. Priestess is 2 damage a turn. Do we want to Burning Tendrils that? I guess next turn. I guess we want to Cleave next turn. So there's multiple lines here. We could go Shard of Hatred, play another Pound, deal 4 damage to him. And on the next turn, we're setting things up. Or we could go play a Blood Shard, activate Champion Power, Pound, use Cleave to kill the Priestess and do 2 damage to him. And on the next turn, if we get a 2-drop, we can Ebony Pound plus a 2-drop, as opposing to something else, and him not having the... I like the Cleave play here, or maybe we are greedy. We could just wait one more turn for the Cleave play. See if he plays another troop. And we've got ways to gain health back, so... And it's a more efficient use of our resources. I think we're going with the Shard of Hatred here for a blood threshold. Use a champion power. Play a pound. Hit him for 4. Which brings us ahead in the race. And we still have Cleave and Burning Tendrils in our pocket, so we might be facing a very bad, for us, very bad Brutalizer turn there, but him not having the Ruby Threshold is fantastic for us right there. So we're definitely keeping up with the race, but this is becoming touchy here. We're going to play a Shard. Now we have 4. Champion power activation plus Cleave here would be 3. Or just Blood Infusion Device. 4 plus 6, that's 10 damage. That's 8 damage, brings him down to very, very low, in range for a kill next turn. So he'll be forced to use his device. And if he's using his device next turn, he's not doing a Brutalizer. And I think that works for us. But I'd like to remove the source of recurrent damage here. The 2 here is a bit of a pain. We're ahead 1 game and we have a Burning Tendrils. It would be nice to keep target for a Burning Tendrils as long as possible. Or we could go Burning Tendrils here. We could go Champion Power Activation, Burning Tendrils, 3 plus 4, that's 7. He's down to 7. And next turn we can do Champion Power Activation for 8. That does work. That does work. He'll be forced to use his device here. And we still have our device ourselves. Cleave or Burning Tendrils. I feel like keeping the Burning Tendrils here. 14. Can he do 14 next turn with a Brutalizer if we get us a Ruby Shard? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's awfully close to a kill. If he gets a Brutalizer next, so might want to keep Burning Tendrils open. Go for 4. Do we go for broke or not? That's a big question. If he doesn't have the Priestess, a Brutalizer turn next is I think we're going to respect the Brutalizer here. And if he doesn't, we might just Burning Tendrils the Priestess before it attacks. And we're still activating Champion Power for the double pawn play here. Yep, let's do this. So 2, 4. Next turn we have 5. Do we go for the 4 here? Bring him down to 6. If we do, it'll be get back to 10 and then attack for 2. And we'll be 2 at 2 less and he won't have his device. Yeah, I don't think that's a good trade here. Let's just keep up the Burning Tendrils, just in case. There's too many ways if he gets a Ruby Threshold that we die on the next turn with his board. There, if he doesn't play a Brutalizer, we just kill the Priestess before it attacks with the Tendrils for 2 more damage, and we can definitely do 8 on our next turn. So that puts him in a position where he needs to use his device. And if he uses his device, he's not playing another Priestess. Oh, that's okay. We got it for the damage here, and he's not using his Blood Infusion device. 12. Can we do 12 next turn? We can do 8. Depending on what we draw, we might be able to kill him next turn. A Bunny Pound is a kill? No, it's 10. Alright, so play Ruby Threshold and activate Yotul. Go with the device. Go with the pound. Go with the pound. Go with the pound. And next turn we have to do 6. We likely have to do 6, so yeah, that puts him in a very tight spot there. So let's see. Yeah, well, I don't find Yotul boring at all. There's a lot of lines and there's a lot of ways you can screw up, and I really enjoy it. So he's going for that turn. He's at 5. We have 3 on the board. Any direct damage to his face wins us the game. Burn will do. So play this. Play the pound. Play the pound. Play the pound. And burn to the face for the win! And we're at 20 viewers now. That means we get a draft pack giveaway on top of the win.